In this video I will explain how to whisk a bowl of thick tea, Koicha. And for that you first need a high quality grade of matcha tea powder, which we have available at the tea crane. These come in these cans. And also a tea whisk with thicker tines. If you compare this tea whisk to a tea whisk used for thin tea, then if you look at it closely, you see that the tines for the one for making thin tea are thinner and so also bouncier. The tea whisk for thick tea has thicker tines and are less bouncy, are sturdier, because we're not going to whisk briskly, we're going to stir firmly so that the tea powder mixes with the hot water and that you get this soup-like heavy broth. So first what we want to do is to again heat the tea bowl and also set the tea whisk in so that the tines can steep. And then we're going to warm the tea bowl. And again, make sure that no humidity remains inside. I'm going to boil my water once more so that it's absolutely hot for thick tea, because we're using a lot of tea powder. We want to make sure that the water is as hot as possible. Now for the tea. For thin tea, we measured about this much. Now for thick tea, we're not only going to use the front part of the tea scoop, we're going to use up till here and scoop a whole heap of tea. I'll show you. About this much. For one person, we need 3 large tea scoops. If you're making a bowl for 2 persons, then it's 3 scoops for the first person and an additional 2 for the second person. If you're making a bowl for 3 persons, you are scooping 3 scoops for the first person and then 2 for the second and 2 for the third. So each additional person requires 2 more scoops like these. The first one, because it's such a thick paste, some of the tea is going to stick against the bowl walls, and it basically includes 1 scoop for the tea bowl and 2 per person. So this is for 1 person. You can see we're using a lot of tea powder, and that's also going to be necessary to make this a very thick paste. Now we're going to add water, but we're not going to add very much. About 40 centiliters. And now we're going to gently knead the tea and make sure that it mixes in with the water very well, so it becomes this dark green paste. The stirring process takes a bit of time because all the powder needs to be blended in well, all the lumps must be broken up. So it takes a bit of time. Also, go through the center in this character for infinity, so that you may look for lumps that are lingering in the center, for example, and you can bring those out and break them up as well. You want to make this as smooth as possible, and also make sure that the surface of the tea is going to be glassy, smooth. Now, if you, like me at this time, find that it is a little bit too thick, you may want to add a little bit more water and then continue on stirring. And this should be a better consistency. The consistency should be somewhat in between a vegetable soup or a rather liquid paint. You will find that it's going to be a rather thick kind of tea. It will also give you a tremendous boost. Okay, this looks pretty much done. So again, we write the Z over the surface and bring it out from the center. And you can see the tea whisk, it's beautifully green. It's not too thick in greenness, but it is just sufficiently green. This is an indication that your tea is skillfully blended. And you can see here that the surface of the tea is glassy smooth, and it's a rather thick paste. So this is your thick tea, and now that the bowl is ready, let's enjoy it.